don't know if it's better or worse. It's not packed. But yeah, so my name's Erica. I'm from Dorset Mind. We are currently doing a 12-month pilot with DoorPip because we recognise the need of support our mental health during pregnancy, but also after. So we support women from conception up until the infant's 2 years old. And it's signs to look out for. A lot of it can be misaligned with, oh, it's just your hormones. It could be baby blues. Maybe it's just, you're overtired. But it's real, and we have a lot of expectation of what motherhood's like or what it's going to be like. And faced with challenges and sleep deprivation, sometimes it's just that struggle. So when we say we've got lots of information here, and it says mums who are struggling with mental health difficulties, but it's actually any low mood, any anxiety. It may just be exasperated during that time. So we help women to just know what their normal baseline is and when something does feel off. So the other battle that we've got really is just tackling the shame and the guilt. We work with, George is also on my team. So we deliver an 8-week programme, and we hear so much, don't we, of like, I was so scared to say that I was struggling. I was so scared to, that I'm not a good enough mum. So we really have a look at that. And, everybody has their struggles, some more than others. So we really look at the individual of like what makes you well. I think we've come a bit further in mental health now that we don't just say go and take a bath. Like, if somebody had told me when my children were like really, really tired, just go and have a bath, have a walk. It's like, oh. So it's not that easy. And it's really it's communicating as well and asking for help. It's a huge, huge barrier. Like, people think, I should be able to do it by myself. I don't like asking. So we actually do communication as well. Look at setting boundaries. Everybody wants to come and see baby, making sure you've got that weekend where it's a weekend a month where it's like we have no plans, and our plans are to have no plans. So while you are in pregnancy or early stages, just thinking about what makes you feel well, like what generally ignites that joy, because there's this incredible physiological shift that happens. There's the process of matrescence. There's all sorts that goes on. And when we give birth, it's like, wow, all of our needs just back there somewhere. And because we've can't keep this tiny human alive, which is the most wonderful, most overwhelming thing. And often mums' needs way back there, to the point that when they come to us and we sit in group and we say, like, what do you need? I don't know. So we really bring it back to basics and really thinking about non-negotiables. And I would recommend everyone, like pregnant, not pregnant, like everybody, to think about their daily non-negotiables. And we talk about from the basic level of like hydration, food, a little bit of movement, and the things that you need. So you have your own, like, we call it the wellness action plan. And so you can share it as well with loved ones, and so they can pick up on the signs. So often, I'm sure you've all experienced, by the time you've got to a point where you're like, I'm tired and I'm struggling, those loved ones around you, their shoulders drop and they're like, oh, thank goodness. Thank goodness she's recognised, because they may be seeing it before you can. However, having said that, if somebody is to come up to you and go, are you all right? You seem to be struggling. I'm fine, those defensiveness. So it's really about having those conversations of, actually, I've noticed when I'm not great, I won't leave the house, or I don't want to go out. I might not have a shower, might be skipping meals, and these are things that I want you to look out for, because when you're in it, and coupled with sleep deprivation, it's really hard to tease out. And this is why it's really, really important to just keep a check on your own mental well-being. And intrusive thoughts happen. We talk about it. Sometimes they'll pop up. And we teach women that, you are not your thoughts. Like, you can think it, but it's not. So the relationship with thoughts and behaviour, so it's like a CBT framework over the 8 weeks. And we teach some breath exercises, really, really good, especially one of the most simple ones, just like a box breath, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. And I think that's one of the things that mums come back and I say, what was the best thing about the 8 weeks? And they'll say that breath, because when they're settling baby, often what's happening, we're like, what's wrong? Baby's still crying, baby's fed, like, what next? And we can start to become stressed, even if logically it's like, it's okay, we can become stressed because baby's still crying. And we're so fine-tuned and we're co-regulating with the nervous systems. So using the breath really helps calm down and just create that little bit of distraction. And because it's a box, you can do it like using a window. It's a really good practical technique. So if you are there and just looking at a window and just inhale, it tells your body that you are safe. And baby can feel that. It's like, oh, mum doesn't seem to be stressed. So, mum's chilled, we're safe. So we teach loads and loads of stuff like that, of stepping into your power when it can feel really overwhelming, creating those pause, asking for people to step in, if people are coming to visit, ask them to bring a frozen lasagna or something for the freezer, all of those sorts of things. And we are in partnership with DORPIP, who help Dorset families. They're an amazing psychotherapy-based team, and they do one-to-ones, but they also do little pips and baby massage, and for families as well. And it's always, I would say, just reaching out and speaking is the most important thing. And a lot of women who we deal with, they will say, I just wish I'd have said sooner. Like, you are not failing if you are struggling and it is hard to cope. And thinking about like previous mental health, sometimes it can be a factor. So if you are overly anxious anyway, you might find that goes up. But we have had mums that are like, actually, being a mum's given me perspective. I don't worry about what I used to do. So there's no equation. And nobody, mental health is that continuum scale. And just knowing where you are, checking in with yourself in the morning, and you're going down the stairs thinking, where am I today? Like, where's my mood, my anxiety on a scale of 0 to 5? So you're checking in, because what we find is there's just so much coping survival that the needs and things that get left behind will pile up, and then it's just great to have a daily check-in so that you avoid the mass overwhelm of like, I feel like I can't cope. The expectations as well, expectations of motherhood, the comparison. We try and encourage everyone to unfollow, don't we, on social media. We're like, get your phones out. Like, who are you following? Just unfollow the ones that you kind of are a bit marmitey with. Might be a little bit of aspiration there of like, wow, she seems to be doing it really well. It's come so far. You know, I do hear mums having honest conversations now around mental health and how they're feeling and the struggles, and even like the podcasts. There's a lot of people using platforms to talk about their struggles and, you know, what happens if baby arrives and there isn't that initial flood. It's okay. You know, it doesn't mean there is something like dreadfully wrong. It is everybody's own unique experience. But, you know, chatting to your health visitor, your midwife, there's lots of support out there. And maybe thinking about getting like your little team together. I nearly said army then, just because I'm in the tank museum. But, you know, who do I want to ring? And who don't you want to speak to? Really thinking about those people that are in your life that are really nourishing and the ones that are more depleting. So, you know, saying to maybe your sister, can you make sure you ring me a couple of times a week? And I promise I'll have that honest conversation with you. It's picking those people. So we do some relaxation exercises as well and send like recordings of meditations. And it is for everybody in the North Dorset area. We're hoping to get more funding post-April. And we've currently got groups in Wareham, Blandford, and maybe Portland. But and online. So we've got an online group running as well, which seems to be really popular, especially because of the geographical area. It can be quite hard to get to somewhere, especially if you don't drive. So we've got an online offering, which is also good for, you know, mums who are going back to work as well, because this is for up until baby is 2. So in a nutshell, we're just here to support women, and we've got the email there which goes straight into our inbox. So even if this is the other thing I hear so much, is I don't think I'm that bad, or I don't want to take the support away from someone else. What if someone else needs it more than we do? And it's like we all need it. I mean, me and George are both mums. So my background is in NHS and mental health, and now like counselling. Being a mum, I thought, I know the theory. Like, I know how to look after myself. And, you know, even with a psychology degree, and like, I was just so like interested, but it just gave me so many new experiences that I wasn't prepared for, like wonderful things, like so many amazing things, and the gratitude and the love that I've never felt before. But also it was bumpy. And just having that support network around you that you can, and we've just had a lady here who came to our group in Wareham. And what's lovely is we keep in touch with the mums. We do like social things afterwards. The mums then, so we're mainly in family hubs. So there's other things that are going on. So they might carry on and do like a baby-led weaning course or baby massage. And they build those social networks. The difference I see now, so I became a mum 14 years ago, and the struggles now is the isolation, I feel. There's a lot more isolate, especially post-COVID. You know, we're ordering online, or, you know, you could actually not leave your house for days. And I would say that was one of my biggest challenges when I was actually just getting out that door, and it's like, oh no, she's awake, or she's just had a poo, or oh, she needs feeding again, and then looking at the time and like, I'm not going to make that window. But I didn't have the ease to not go out, which I think is really a huge barrier for you guys at the moment, is because you can stay in because you could maybe like make the call or get an online food delivery, and there's less children's centres and things around. But we always say, come if you're going to come in your onesie, it's all right, just come as you are, it's masks off. Just that vulnerability, which I think was really important. So Mothers in Mind was set up because a mum went to Mind and said, what do you do for mums? Because it is specialist support. We feel like we're open to judgment as soon as we've got that positive pregnancy test, and it's like, oh, amazing. Like, so what birth are you going to have? Are you going to have a natural birth? Are you going to have any pain relief? Where are you going to have the baby? Da, 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 da. Like, are you going to breastfeed? Are you going to bottle feed? Oh, are you co-sleeping? There's all of these opinions that can really make us lose connection with our intuition, which is strong as a mum. But when we've got lots of noises, and I often say, it's like you just tune into your own radio station. So when we're getting loads of advice from lots of different, just frequencies coming in at us, whether it be, oh, you can't have paracetamol, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. It can be really confusing. So to actually go quiet and to look out the window and take a breath in and hold, and those quiet moments are when those answers come, and really building confidence in, this is what I've decided, because your values may also change. There might be intentions to breastfeed, there might be complications, it might go on a different way. So you have to be adaptable, but also finding out who you are. So we help mums, they say, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I enjoy anymore. I had one mum, and she was like, I literally, before I became a mum, all I really enjoyed doing was going out. I would just be out a lot. And it was like, okay. She's like, I can't do that anymore. And it's also a great opportunity to just really connect with parts of yourself that you might not have done for a really long time. But sometimes we hear a lot of mums feeling lost. They're like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know, can I wear this? Can I dye my hair pink? Can I not do this? How do I act as a mum? And it can feel really, really confusing. And relationships change. There's friends who you had before, and maybe they haven't got children. So these are all the things that we cover. The communication with partners as well, because it can get a little bit fractious. I always said, whatever we say to each other before 9 a.m. doesn't count. It's fine. Because there is more snapping. And we look at the communication, friendships do change, the guilt that comes with that, maybe I've not made enough effort, and life changes in a wonderful, wonderful way. But really important to just kind of keep rooted to yourself, keep coming back to yourself. What do I think? Maybe before asking partner or mom and sister and friends what they think about what you think first, and then ask advice, because this really helps you stay in connection with your intuition as well. And essentially, baby wants to be warm and wants your face. That's it. like warm, fed, loved, safety, your face. It breaks my heart to hear so many mums that say, I don't think I'm doing enough. I don't play with him enough. I haven't got enough crinkle mats, and it's like, honestly, that smile, the neurons and the attachment that happen when you just smile, and when they get a little bit older and can smile back, amazing. But it's hard, really hard for that first bit where you're like, oh, not really getting much engagement back. So please, if you don't take anything else away from today, just never like hesitate to reach out. I always say, if you're Googling, am I struggling, or have I got postnatal depression, reach out. Have I got postnatal anxiety? Reach out. So it's good to know what your baseline is. So doing things like a little mood tracker, because the days roll into weeks and we're like, it can become our normal. We can become resilient to it. But also we can be really fearful and think, oh, actually, it's just been 3 days that I felt like this, because and it's like the weather. Not as bad as this today, but it constantly changes. Our mood is changing, and if you've got a little tracker, whether you note it down, like on a scale of 0 to 5, it helps a little bit of objectivity, because when we're tired, objectivity is not around. So it might be feeling like, God, I'm really not coping, I'm not doing very well, and you're actually doing better than you think, or vice versa. You might be just like struggling on and pushing, and you've been running on empty for a long time. So it's just good to recognise. And like I say, this email address goes through to me and George. We're a really, really small team. And you can literally drop us an email and say, I'm struggling a little bit, but I just want to speak to someone for 10 minutes. We'll give you a call. We hear a lot of fear around having babies taken away. I'm just going to name that and put it in the room, because it is, there's a fear that if I'm struggling, or I go to my GP and I ask for help, or I'm put on medication, that's going to be on my records, I'm going to have my baby taken away. And it's a fear for a lot of mums, and that can be a barrier to them reaching out to us. We're a charity independent of NHS. If obviously we have confidentiality, if we thought that there was significant harm, but we have got mums the support that they've needed, and really help that catastrophic thinking, going to a parenting class or an attachment mum and baby class, or even accessing therapy, counselling, doesn't mean you're failing. It means that you're really aware and you're doing everything. You're doing the work so you can show up for your baby. So I think that's it. Unless anyone wants to ask me any questions. No? I'll be around anyway, yes, if you want to.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much. Yes, the Dorset Mind team will be downstairs in Tank Story Hall as well if you do want to ask them any questions. And thank you very much to Erica and George for hosting this talk today.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for coming. Thanks very much.